Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me today. Right now, I want you to stop and look within yourself. Right now, everything you need to succeed is already inside you. You have the power, you have the potential, and you have the vision. But here's the truth. Success doesn't just happen by chance. It starts with your mindset. You have to rewire the way you think. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. I'm here to tell you today, your success is a decision. It's a mindset shift that starts with one thought, one choice, one belief. Today, you are going to retrain your mind for greatness. And I believe that when you leave here, you'll walk out with a transformed mindset that will propel you into the future you've been dreaming of. Are you ready for that? Success begins in the mind. Your thoughts shape your reality. The power of your mind is the foundation for everything that you achieve in life. We all face challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the way they think about those challenges. Your thoughts are like seeds that you plant in the soil of your heart. Whatever you think about consistently will eventually grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, or negativity, that's exactly what you'll harvest in your life. But if you choose to plant seeds of positivity, possibility, and abundance, you'll start to see those results come to fruition in ways that will blow your mind. Let me tell you something. You have control over your thoughts. No one else does. Sure, external circumstances, people, and the world around you can influence you, but you are the one who has the ultimate power to decide how you respond to those influences. If you want to change your life, it starts with changing the way you think. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that your circumstances are what define you. After all, we all face obstacles, but the truth is, your circumstances only have the power you give them. What really defines you is how you choose to see yourself in your situation. I want you to understand this deep in your heart. Your mind is your greatest tool for success, and it's always working, whether you're aware of it or not. If you feed your mind with negative thoughts or doubt, it will produce negative results. But if you fill your mind with the belief that success is not only possible but inevitable for you, that belief will fuel your actions and your journey toward greatness. But here's the catch. This doesn't happen overnight. You have to rewire your brain. For years, you may have been conditioned to think in ways that don't serve you, ways that keep you stuck, afraid, and uncertain. But you can change that. The first step in rewiring your mind is recognizing the power that your thoughts have. Once you understand that, you'll begin to take control of them. And when you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. Success starts with a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. When you start to believe that there is more than enough success, happiness, and opportunity for everyone, including you, your mind shifts from a place of lack to a place of overflow. You start to see opportunities where others see roadblocks. You start to see your obstacles as stepping stones rather than barriers. This mindset of abundance is crucial because it frees you from the limiting belief that there's only so much success to go around. The truth is, there is more than enough for you, and you don't need to fight anyone for your place at the table. The universe is abundant, and when you shift your thinking, you open up the flow of all the good things that are meant for you. When you embrace the idea that you're deserving of success and that there's plenty for everyone, you stop competing with others. Instead, you start collaborating with the universe to bring your dreams to life. So, I challenge you today, change your thoughts, start right now, pay attention to the things you're telling yourself every day. Are they supportive? Are they encouraging? Are they rooted in faith and confidence? Are they rooted in doubt, fear, and insecurity? You can't expect to have a successful life if your thoughts are constantly telling you that you can't. Rewire your mind to think thoughts that empower you, that fuel your dreams, that make you feel like you are unstoppable, because you are. When you choose to think positive thoughts, you send out a vibration of energy into the world that attracts success. Your mindset shapes your actions shape your outcomes, and your outcomes create the life you live. That's why it's crucial that you believe in your ability to achieve greatness, not just with your words, but with your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. You see, success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are, and who you are starts. So from this moment forward, decide that you will no longer accept thoughts that limit your potential. Commit to replacing thoughts of fear with thoughts of faith. Replace thoughts of doubt with thoughts of certainty. Replace thoughts of failure with thoughts of success. You are the architect of your own mind. Rewire it, and you'll be amazed at the doors that will arise, and the success that will arise, and the success that will follow you wherever you go. Change your mind, and you'll change your life. That's the power of your hearts. Let me ask you something. How big are your dreams? Because if you're not dreaming the impossible, then you're settling for less than you deserve. Every great breakthrough in history, every monumental success started with a dream that seemed completely impossible at the time. Think about the great visionaries of our world. People like Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Thomas Edison, and Oprah Winfrey. These were people who saw a world that didn't exist yet, a world that no one else could even imagine. They dared to dream beyond the limits of their circumstances, and they refused to let anyone or anything stop them from turning their dreams into reality. The truth is, the only limits that exist are the ones we place on ourselves. And too often we allow fear, doubt, and insecurity to convince us that our dreams are too big, too far out of reach. But here's what I need you to understand. The bigger the dream, the greater the reward. If your dream doesn't scare you just a little bit, then it's probably not big enough. You were not created to think small. You were created to think big, to stretch the limits of what is possible, and to break through barriers that no one else has been able to break through. You have greatness inside of you, but you'll never realize it if you limit yourself to thinking only what's comfortable and familiar. You were not meant to fit in, you were meant to stand out. You weren't meant to play it safe. You were meant to take risks, to reach for the stars, to go after what others are too afraid to pursue. The first step in rewiring your mind for success is learning to believe in the impossible. Too many people are held back by the fear of failure or the fear of what others might think. But let me tell you this, the greatest people in history weren't afraid to fail. In fact, they embraced failure because they understood that failure wasn't a reflection of their ability. It was simply feedback. It was a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to success. So if you want to achieve something great, you have to be willing to fail, to stumble, to fall down and get back up again. You have to be willing to stretch yourself beyond what you thought was possible. Believe in the impossible, because your belief is the foundation of everything you will achieve. If you can see it in your mind, you can make it a reality. But here's the catch. You can't just hope for it. You can't just dream it and then sit back and wait for it to happen. You have to believe that it is already on its way to you. You have to believe that the universe is aligning itself to bring you the people, the resources, and the opportunities that will help you bring your dream to life. You see, belief is a powerful force. It's what gets you through the tough times, the obstacles, and the struggles. When you believe in the impossible, you are telling the universe that you trust it, that you believe there is something bigger and better in store for you. And when you align your belief with action, that's when the magic happens. Belief in the impossible doesn't mean that everything will be easy. And it doesn't mean that success will come without challenges. But what it does mean is that you will not be deterred. You will not be moved. You will keep going even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. You will believe in the process, and you will trust that your dream is already in motion, even if you can't see it yet. Now let's be real. Dreaming big can be intimidating. There's always that voice in the back of your mind that says, who do you think you are to dream this big? Who are you to think you can make this happen? And here's the answer. You are exactly the right person to make it happen. You have everything you need within you to turn the impossible into possible. But it all starts with belief. The moment you start believing that your dreams are within reach, you begin to change the way you see the world. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You stop looking at your limitations and start seeing your potential. You stop listening to the voices that tell you no and start listening to the voice inside of you that says yes. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to think beyond the ordinary. You have to dream beyond the boundaries of your current reality. You have to stretch your vision until it feels uncomfortable, until it feels almost impossible. And then you have to push even further. That's where the magic happens. So I challenge you today, stop playing small. Stop limiting yourself. Dare to dream the impossible. Dare to believe that you are capable of achieving things that others only dream about, because you can. And once you believe it, nothing can stop you from turning your dreams into reality. The words you speak to yourself are incredibly powerful. They shape your reality more than you might realize. The things you say to yourself, your inner dialogue, are either building you up or tearing you down. And here's the truth. If you're constantly speaking negativity over your life, you're planting seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity that will eventually take root and grow. But if you learn to change the way you talk to yourself, you can completely transform the way you experience life. Your inner dialogue is the most influential conversation you'll ever have. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, what do you say to yourself? Do you say, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or this day is going to be hard? Or do you say, I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy of success? Your words create the world you live in, and that includes the conversations you have with yourself. If your thoughts are negative, it's no surprise that your life feels negative. But if you fill your mind with positive affirmations and empowering words, your whole life can shift. The words you speak to yourself shape your self-image. They influence your self-worth, your confidence, and your belief in your own potential. If you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not worthy enough, you'll start to believe it. Your mind will align itself with your words, and your behavior will follow suit. But on the flip side, when you speak words of encouragement, faith, and possibility, you begin to believe in yourself. Your mind starts to align with those empowering thoughts, and your behavior reflects that belief. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and you start taking actions that align with your true potential. Think about the power of words for a moment. Think about how one word of encouragement can change someone's entire day or even their life. A simple, you've got this, or I believe in you, can fuel someone to push through their fears and doubts and keep moving forward. Now think about how much more powerful it is when those words are directed toward yourself. If you want to see your life change, it starts with changing the words you speak over yourself. You have to stop using words that tear you down and start using words that lift you up. It's time to stop the negative self-talk. It's time to replace I can't with I can. It's time to replace I'm not enough with I am more than enough. It's time to replace I'll never make it with I am destined for success. When you speak words of faith, encouragement, and possibility, you are not only changing your mindset, you're also rewiring your brain to expect good things to happen in your life. And let me tell you, when you start expecting good things will start happening. But here's the kicker. Your words have to align with your actions. It's one thing to speak positive words, but you also have to act on them. You can say, I'm a successful person, but if your actions don't align with that belief, your words lose their power. That's why it's so important to not just say the right things, but to also back them up with the right actions. When you believe you can succeed, you'll start doing the things that successful people do. You'll start showing up, putting in the work, and staying persistent even when things get tough. It's not just about speaking success into existence. It's about living it, breathing it, and making it a part of who you are. Changing your inner dialogue also means learning how to handle setbacks and challenges. It's easy to speak positivity when things are going well. But what happens when you face failure or disappointment? What happens when things don't go according to plan? Your inner dialogue will determine whether you give up or keep going. If you tell yourself, this failure is permanent, or I'm just not cut out for this, you'll stay stuck. But if you reframe your thoughts and say, this is just a setback, not the end of the road, or I may have failed, but I'm not a failure, you'll keep moving forward. Remember, failure is not your identity. It's just feedback. It's a lesson that will get you closer to your goal. And let's be real. You're going to face challenges. No one has a smooth path to success. But the way you talk to yourself during those tough times will determine how quickly you get back up. When you face challenges, your words have to be your fuel. You have to say, I am resilient. I am capable of overcoming anything, and I am stronger than any obstacle that comes my way. This is how you build mental toughness. This is how you develop the strength to keep going, even when the road gets tough. So here's what I want you to do today. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Are your thoughts and words lifting you up, or are they bringing you down? Start replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Every time you catch yourself saying something negative, immediately replace it with something empowering. Speak life over yourself. Speak success over your dreams. Speak confidence over your future. You are not a product of your circumstance. You are a product of your thoughts and the words you speak to yourself. Your mind is your most powerful asset. And when you begin to control your thoughts and words, you begin to control your destiny. So start speaking words that will take you where you want to go. Speak success, speak strength, speak victory, and then go out and live it. You are the author of your own story, and it all begins with the words you say to yourself. Choose them wisely because they are shaping your future. One of the most empowering realizations you can have in life is that you only have control over one thing, yourself. You can't control what others do. You can't control every situation you find yourself in, and you certainly can't control how others will react. But what you can control, what you have the power to change, is your own response. In every situation, in every circumstance, and in every challenge you face, you have the ability to decide how you will respond. This is where your true power lies, in how you choose to direct your focus and energy. When you're striving for success, there will be plenty of external distractions and obstacles trying to pull you off course. You will face setbacks, failures, and moments where it feels like everything is working against you. But the key to overcoming these moments isn't to fight against the circumstances. It's to focus on what you can control. The way you respond, the way you approach problems, and the way you decide to move forward are the things you have power over. So often we spend energy and time worrying about things that are completely outside of our control. We get frustrated by things that aren't going the way we want them to. We try to change things that are unchangeable, and we exhaust ourselves trying to manipulate outcomes that are beyond our reach. But when you shift your focus and attention to what you can actually control, your attitude, your mindset, your actions, you start to reclaim your power. When you make the decision to focus on what's within your grasp, you free yourself from the frustration and stress that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. This is not to say that life doesn't throw challenges your way or that you won't face difficult times. On the contrary, life will test you. But in those moments of difficulty, it's important to remember that your reaction to the situation is the one thing that truly matters. Your attitude in the face of adversity determines whether you emerge stronger or whether you'll let the situation defeat you. If you allow your thoughts to be consumed with what you can't control, you'll drain your energy and become overwhelmed. But when you focus on what you can control, how you respond, you will find that you have an inner strength and resilience that you never knew existed. Let's be clear. Focusing on what you can control doesn't mean you ignore reality. It doesn't mean that you deny the difficulty or pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. What it means is that you acknowledge the challenge, but choose to focus on the things you have the power to change. When things go wrong, you have the power to choose your mindset. You have the power to decide whether you will look at the situation as a setback or an opportunity for growth. You have the power to choose whether you will keep moving forward or allow fear and doubt to paralyze you. The most successful people are not the ones who have avoided difficulty or never faced challenges. No, the most successful people are the ones who have learned how to focus on what they can control in the midst of hardship. They have learned to maintain their composure, to control their emotions, and to make decisions based on their values and goals, rather than their temporary circumstances. This principle applies not just in moments of crisis, but in everyday life as well. Each day, you have the power to decide how you're going to approach the day ahead. Will you start your day with gratitude, focusing on the blessings in your life? Will you focus on the things that are going well rather than dwelling on what's wrong? Will you choose to take proactive steps toward your goals, or will you let distractions pull you off track? These are all things you can control. Every morning, you have the choice to focus on what's within your power to change. Another powerful aspect of focusing on what you can control is that it allows you to eliminate the distractions that are holding you back. Often we allow other people's opinions, societal expectations, or outside pressures to dictate how we live our lives. But when you focus on what you can control, you start to let go of the need for external validation. You stop living to meet other people's standards, and you start living for your own purpose. You stop worrying about the judgments and opinions of others and start tuning into your own voice, the voice that tells you what you truly need and desire. This is incredibly liberating. When you stop worrying about what you can't control, you free up mental and emotional energy to focus on the things that truly matter. You begin to take action on your goals, regardless of what others think. You stop seeking approval and you start seeking progress. You stop fearing failure and you start embracing it as part of the journey. Now, don't misunderstand me. Focusing on what you can control doesn't mean that you become passive or complacent. It doesn't mean you stop working hard or stop trying to improve. On the contrary, it means you put all your energy into what you can do right now rather than wasting it on things that are out of your hands. Success comes from focused effort. When you direct your energy toward things you can control, your mindset, your actions, your responses, you're actively taking steps toward achieving your goals, you are creating momentum that will move you closer to where you want to be. Let's take a moment to talk about the power of controlling your response to setbacks. When you encounter obstacles on your journey, as you inevitably will, you can choose to see them as the end of the road or as an opportunity for growth. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often comes down to how they respond to setbacks. If you see every challenge as a failure or an insurmountable problem, you will quit before you ever get close to your goal. But if you see setbacks as temporary, as something to learn from, as part of the process, then you will keep going, and that determination will eventually lead you to success. One final thing to consider is that focusing on what you can control is not just about action, it's also about mental and emotional resilience. The way you choose to manage your emotions, the way you respond to stress, and the way you react to disappointment, all of these things are within your control. By practicing emotional intelligence and mental toughness, you can remain calm and focused even when life gets chaotic. You'll be able to maintain your peace of mind, stay true to your vision, and keep your eyes on the prize regardless of the challenges that arise. So remember, you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Focus on what you can control, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you react. And you will unlock the power to create the life you've always wanted. Take ownership of your responses and watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. One of the most powerful forces in life is the strength of persistence. The ability to keep going when everything around you is telling you to stop is a trait that separates those who achieve greatness from those who fall short. Let's be real. Success doesn't come easily. It doesn't arrive on your doorstep without any effort. And it certainly doesn't come to those who quit the moment things get tough. No, success comes to those who keep pressing forward, who refuse to give up even when the road is long and the obstacles seem insurmountable. Persistence is the difference between dreams that remain out of reach and dreams that become reality. It's easy to get excited about a goal at the beginning, to feel motivated and inspired when everything seems fresh and new. But what happens when the novelty wears off? What happens when the excitement fades and the hard work kicks in? That's when persistence becomes crucial. It's not the people who have the most talent or the best resources who succeed. It's the people who refuse to quit, who keep moving forward in the face of adversity. You see, the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be bumps, detours, setbacks, and failures along the way. These are the things that will test your resolve, that will challenge your belief in yourself and your dreams. But if you can learn to persist through those challenges, you will come out stronger on the other side. Every time you face a setback and choose to keep going, you are building resilience. Every time you fall down and get back up again, you are reinforcing your mental and emotional strength. And every time you push past your limits, you are one step closer to realizing your goals. There's a reason why persistence is often referred to as the key to success. You can have all the skills, talent, and resources in the world, but if you don't have persistence, you won't get very far. Persistence is what keeps you going when the odds are stacked against you. It's what fuels you when your energy is depleted, when your motivation fades, and when you feel like giving up is the easier option. The reality is, if you are committed to your goals and your vision, there will be times when you feel exhausted, frustrated, and discouraged. But that's when persistence becomes your greatest ally. When you're feeling your lowest, persistence is the force that will drive you to rise up and keep moving forward, even when every part of you is telling you to quit. Think about the great achievers in history, people like Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and Michael Jordan. These were individuals who faced tremendous challenges and setbacks. Thomas Edison famously failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Albert Einstein, one of the most brilliant minds to ever live, struggled in school and was even considered a poor student. But what made them different from others was their ability to persist in the face of failure. They didn't let setbacks define them. They used those failures as stepping stones to success. They kept pushing forward when others would have given up, and in doing so, they achieved greatness. Persistence is not just about working harder. It's about working smarter and staying committed to your vision, no matter what. It's about maintaining focus on your goal and being willing to adjust your approach if necessary. If you're not seeing the results you want, persistence means trying a different method, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to push forward. It's not about blindly plowing through obstacles. It's about being flexible, adaptable, and determined. Persistence is about cultivating a mindset that says, I will find a way to make this happen no matter what. And let's talk about failure for a moment. Because failure is often seen as the enemy, something to be avoided at all costs. But here's the truth. Failure is a natural part of the journey to success. In fact, failure is often a sign that you're on the right path. It's only when you step outside of your comfort zone and attempt something new that you'll face failure. But that's okay. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson. It's feedback that tells you what doesn't work so you can refine your approach. And when you persist in the face of failure, you gain the experience and wisdom that will ultimately lead you to success. The key is to change your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as a roadblock, see it as an opportunity to grow. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable about yourself, about your work, and about your approach. And with each lesson you learn, you become more equipped to handle the challenges that lie ahead. Failure is not permanent. It's simply a step in the process. When you persist through, you develop the mindset of someone who is unstoppable, someone who understands that failure is just a temporary setback on the road to success. Persistence is also about maintaining consistency. It's easy to get excited about a new project or goal and give it all your energy in the beginning. But what truly sets successful people apart is their ability to keep showing up day after day, even when things get tough. Consistency is what makes the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who give up halfway through the journey. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, even when you don't feel like it, even when progress is slow, and even when you're not seeing immediate results. The small, consistent actions you take every day will compound over time and lead to incredible results. But without persistence, those small actions will never add up to anything significant. Another powerful aspect of persistence is the ability to remain focused on your goals, even in the midst of distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get sidetracked by all the noise around you. There are always new opportunities, distractions, and things pulling for your attention. But persistence means having the discipline to stay focused on what matters most. It means resisting the temptation to quit when things aren't going perfectly or when things take longer than expected. Persistence is about staying the course, even when the world around you is chaotic. So how do you cultivate persistence in your life? It starts with commitment. You have to be committed to your goal, to your vision, and to the belief that you can make it happen no matter what. You have to remind yourself daily why you're doing what you're doing, especially on the days when it feels like you're not making progress. You have to tap into that inner strength that says, I will not quit. I will not give up, and I will keep moving forward. Persistence also means surrounding yourself with people who will support and encourage you on your journey. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you up or drag you down. So make sure you are building relationships with people who inspire you, who challenge you to keep going, and who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. When you surround yourself with a supportive community, persistence becomes easier because you are encouraged to keep going even when the road gets tough. Ultimately, persistence is about resilience. It's about bouncing back from setbacks, continuing despite difficulties, and never losing sight of the vision you have for your life. Success comes to those who refuse to quit. And when you persist in the face of adversity, you will achieve things that others thought were impossible. Keep going no matter how hard it gets, because the victory is in the persistence. And the more you persist, the closer you get to the greatness that awaits you. Your mind is like a muscle. If you want to build strength, flexibility, and resilience in your body, you have to regularly work out. Similarly, if you want to build a mindset for success, you have to train your mind. Too often, we neglect the power of our thoughts, and we allow our minds to be influenced by negativity, doubt, and fear. But the truth is, the way you think directly impacts the way you live. Your thoughts are the blueprint for your actions, and your actions determine your results. That's why it's essential to rewire your mind for success. So how do you rewire your mind? The first step is to recognize that you have the power to change your thinking. You don't have to be held hostage by your current thought patterns. Whether you've been conditioned to think negatively about yourself, your abilities, or your future, you have the power to break free from those limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering thoughts. It all starts with awareness. If you want to transform your mind, you first need to recognize the thoughts that are holding you back. If you're constantly thinking, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, those thoughts are limiting your potential. You may not even realize it, but these thoughts are shaping your reality. Once you've identified the limiting beliefs in your mind, the next step is to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Where is the evidence for this thought? Is there a different perspective I could consider? By questioning your negative thoughts, you begin to loosen their grip on your mind. The more you challenge these beliefs, the easier it becomes to replace them with more empowering thoughts. For example, if you think, I'm not good enough, challenge it by reminding yourself of all the things you've already accomplished and the unique strengths and talents you possess. Replace the thought with something more positive and affirming, like, I am more than enough. I have everything I need to succeed. Rewiring your mind for success also requires you to become intentional about what you feed your mind. Just like you have to be careful about what you put into your body, you need to be mindful of the information and messages you're feeding your mind. Are you constantly listening to negative news, toxic conversations, or people who drain your energy? Are you filling your mind with doubt and fear? Or are you feeding your mind with positivity, motivation, and inspiration? What you consume mentally has a profound impact on the way you think and feel. To rewire your mind for success, you have to choose to feed it with empowering thoughts, uplifting content, and inspirational messages that support your vision for the future. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with positive influences. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mindset. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly negative, complaining, or doubting, it becomes much harder to maintain a positive and success-driven mindset. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who encourage you, inspire you, and challenge you to be your best, your mindset begins to shift. You begin to believe that anything is possible because you're consistently hearing messages of hope, belief, and possibility. This is why mentorship, positive relationships, and a supportive community are so crucial to your growth. The people around you can either lift you up or pull you down. So be mindful of who you allow into your inner circle. Another key to rewiring your mind for success is learning how to manage your emotions. Too often, we let our emotions dictate our actions. When we feel fear, doubt, or frustration, we may make decisions that are based on those emotions rather than on logic or strategy. But if you can learn to manage your emotions and respond to situations with a calm and positive mindset, you will be able to navigate challenges much more effectively. One way to do this is through mindfulness and self-awareness. When you feel negative emotions rising, take a step back and observe them. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, What is this emotion trying to tell me? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my goals and values? Rewiring your mind also requires a shift in your focus. It's easy to get caught up in what's not working, in what's going wrong, and in all the obstacles that seem to be standing in your way. But if you focus on problems, you will only see more problems. However, if you shift your focus to solutions, opportunities, and possibilities, you will begin to see a whole new world unfold before you. Successful people are solution-oriented. They don't dwell on problems. Instead, they focus on finding ways to overcome them. They don't let setbacks stop them. They let setbacks fuel their determination. If you want to rewire your mind for success, you need to develop the ability to focus on what you can do, not on what you can't do. You need to train your mind to look for opportunities, to stay solution-focused, and to always ask, what's the next step I can take? In addition to focus, rewiring your mind for success also means developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's the belief that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but an opportunity to learn and improve. People with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than as obstacles to their success. They understand that success is not a destination, but a journey of constant learning and improvement. If you want to rewire your mind for success, you need to cultivate this growth mindset. You need to embrace challenges, learn from your mistakes, and always be open to growth and improvement. Another important aspect of rewiring your mind is learning to visualize your success. Visualization is a powerful tool that can help you manifest your goals and dreams. When you visualize your success, you are programming your mind to believe that what you desire is not only possible, but inevitable. You are telling your subconscious mind that success is already yours, and your actions begin to align with that belief. Take some time every day to close your eyes and visualize yourself achieving your goals. Picture yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and living the life you desire. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more your mind will begin to align with that vision and help you bring it into reality. Finally, rewiring your mind for success requires persistence and consistency. It's not enough to simply have a positive mindset one day and then fall back into negative thinking the next. Rewiring your mind for success is an ongoing process. It's about consistently choosing to think differently, to focus on solutions, and to believe in yourself and your potential. It's about making the conscious decision every single day to cultivate a mindset that supports your goals and dreams. Over time, as you continue to train your mind, you will notice that your thoughts become more positive, your actions become more aligned with your goals, and your results begin to reflect your new mindset. Remember, the mind is incredibly powerful. It can either work for you or against you. If you want to achieve success in any area of your life, you must begin by rewiring your mind. Start by challenging negative thoughts, feeding your mind with positivity, managing your emotions, staying solution-focused, and embracing a growth mindset. By consistently doing this, you will transform your thinking and create the foundation for success. When you change your mind, you change your life. Success isn't just about having the right resources or even the right strategies. It's about your belief in yourself. The power of self-belief is one of the most important driving forces behind any successful journey. When you truly believe in your potential, nothing can stand in your way. Self-belief doesn't mean that you think you are perfect or without flaws. Rather, it's about having the confidence that no matter what challenges arise, you have the ability to overcome them and succeed. It's the understanding that even when faced with uncertainty, your skills, resilience, and determination will carry you through. Unfortunately, too many people struggle with self-doubt, constantly questioning their abilities and second-guessing their decisions. This self-doubt becomes a barrier that holds them back from reaching their full potential. If you don't believe in yourself, you won't take the necessary actions to move forward. You won't push through the tough times, and you won't take the risks needed to achieve greatness. Self-belief is the foundation upon which all your success is built. Without it, you are like a car with no fuel. It may have all the parts, but it will never move forward. The key to building self-belief is understanding that belief is not a fixed trait. It's something that can be cultivated. You weren't born with a certain level of belief in yourself, But you can develop it over time through positive experiences, reinforcement, and self-reflection. Just like any skill, self-belief requires practice and effort. The more you believe in yourself, the more you begin to take bold actions, which in turn reinforce your belief. Every success, no matter how small, will build upon the next, increasing your self-confidence and strengthening your resolve. But the opposite is also true. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't do something, that you're not good enough, or that you're bound to fail, your actions will reflect that belief. The thoughts you have about yourself directly impact the way you show up in the world. So how do you start building self-belief if you feel like it's lacking? The first step is to reframe your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you think you can't do, focus on your strengths and past successes. Reflect on the challenges you've already overcome and the goals you've achieved. These moments of success, big or small, are proof that you are capable. Sometimes the biggest barrier to believing in yourself is simply remembering how far you've already come. Look back at the times when you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did anyway. Those moments of triumph are evidence that you have the ability to overcome obstacles. Another powerful way to build self-belief is by setting and achieving small goals. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you look at your larger goals and feel like they're too far out of reach. However, by breaking down your bigger goals into smaller, more manageable steps, you can begin to build a track record of success. Each time you achieve one of these smaller goals, you reinforce your self-belief. You start to prove to yourself that you have the ability to achieve what you set out to do. And as your belief in yourself grows, you'll start to take on bigger challenges, knowing that you've proven to yourself that you're capable. Building self-belief also requires you to shift your focus away from external validation. Many people rely on the approval or praise of others to feel good about themselves. They wait for someone else to tell them that they're doing a good job or that they're worthy of success. While praise and validation can be encouraging, relying on it too much leaves you vulnerable to the opinions of others. True self-belief comes from within. It's about recognizing your own worth and knowing that you are enough, even if no one else notices or acknowledges it. It's about trusting that your value is not dependent on other people's opinions, but on your own self-awareness and inner strength. One of the most significant ways to build self-belief is through self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on your confidence. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you can't do something, or that you'll never succeed, you're reinforcing those negative beliefs. But if you change your inner dialogue to one that is positive, affirming, and focused on your potential, your mindset will shift. Speak to yourself as you would to your best friend, encouraging, supportive, and kind. Remind yourself of your strengths and abilities, and challenge any negative thoughts that arise. By doing this consistently, you'll begin to change the way you see yourself and your ability to succeed. Another essential part of building self-belief is surrounding yourself with people who believe in you. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your mindset. If you spend your time with people who constantly put you down, who criticize your dreams, or who tell you that you can't achieve your goals, it becomes incredibly difficult to maintain self-belief. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage your growth, and who genuinely believe in your potential, it becomes much easier to believe in yourself. Seek out positive, supportive relationships that inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Find people who challenge you to dream bigger, who celebrate your successes, and who help you see the possibilities at every situation. Self-belief also requires you to embrace failure as part of the journey. Too often, people let fear of failure prevent them from even trying. They fear that failure will prove they're not capable or that they're not good enough. But the truth is, failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a part of the process. Every successful person has failed at some point. It's through failure that we learn, grow, and refine our skills. The key is to see failure not as a setback, but as a lesson, a necessary step on the road to success. When you embrace failure and use it as an opportunity to learn and improve, you strengthen your self-belief. You begin to see that you are capable of handling setbacks and using them to fuel your future success. As you build self-belief, it's also crucial to recognize the power of persistence. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go as planned, or when progress feels slow. But self-belief isn't about always feeling confident or always having everything figured out. It's about continuing to move forward, even when things get tough. It's about trusting that the challenges you face are temporary and that you have the ability to navigate them. The more you persist, the more your belief in yourself will grow. The more you face adversity and continue to move forward, the more you prove to yourself that you are strong, capable, and deserving of success. Finally, remember that self-belief is not about arrogance or pride. It's not about thinking you're better than others, but about recognizing your own worth and your own potential. True self-belief is rooted in humility, gratitude, and a deep sense of knowing that you have something valuable to offer the world. It's about trusting that you are capable of achieving great things, not because you're perfect or flawless, but because you have the strength, determination, and resilience to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. The road to success is not always easy, but when you believe in yourself, nothing is impossible. Self-belief empowers you to take action, to persist through challenges, and to step into your full potential. It is the driving force behind every achievement, every victory, and every breakthrough. So no matter where you are in your journey, remember this: believe in yourself. You have everything you need to succeed. Trust in your abilities. Trust in your worth, and never underestimate the power of a mind that believes in its own potential. Success does not occur in isolation. It is rooted in the power of consistent, positive habits. The habits you build today will determine your success tomorrow. Success is not just about isolated moments of brilliance or fleeting bursts of effort. It's about the small, consistent actions that compound over time to yield extraordinary results. Think of habits as the foundation of your success. They are the daily actions and routines that shape the direction of your life, even when you don't realize it. In fact, your habits will either propel you toward your goals or keep you stuck where you are. Many people underestimate the power of habits. They often believe that success will come to them in a grand moment of inspiration or by making a few big moves. While inspiration and big moves are important, it is the daily habits, the things you do every day, the choices you make consistently that lead to lasting success. The key is understanding that success is a result of compounding actions over time. You don't have to do everything perfectly or make giant leaps. It's the small things you do consistently that make the biggest difference. So how do you start building habits that lead to success? First and foremost, you must recognize that habits are learned behaviors. They don't just happen by chance. You need to be intentional about the habits you form. If you want to be successful, you have to actively create habits that align with your goals. Start by identifying the habits that will support your vision for success. What do successful people do on a daily basis? What habits do they cultivate to stay focused, productive, and motivated? This might include habits like waking up early, setting clear goals, exercising regularly, practicing gratitude, or continuously learning and improving your skills. One of the most important habits to develop is the habit of setting clear, actionable goals. Without goals, you are like a ship without a compass. You might be moving, but you don't know where you're going. Setting goals gives you direction and purpose. It helps you stay focused on what truly matters and prevents you from getting sidetracked by distractions. But setting goals alone is not enough. You must break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. It's the small daily actions you take to achieve those tasks that will ultimately get you closer to your big dreams. Consistency is key when it comes to building habits. The most successful people are not necessarily the ones who do the most in the shortest amount of time, but rather the ones who consistently show up day after day with effort, determination, and a willingness to grow. Think about it. If you want to get fit, you don't have to go to the gym for 8 hours in one day. But if you consistently commit to working out for 30 minutes every day, you will see incredible results over time. The same principle applies to all areas of life, whether it's building a business, learning a new skill, or developing a positive mindset. The key is showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it, and staying committed to the process. A critical habit to develop in order to maintain consistency is the habit of planning. Planning your day in advance is one of the most effective ways to ensure that you stay focused and productive. Without a clear plan, It's easy to get distracted by random tasks or time wasters. But when you take the time to plan your day, you ensure that every action you take moves you closer to your goals. This could be as simple as making a to-do list each morning or setting specific measurable goals for the day. Planning your day helps you prioritize your most important tasks and make the best use of your time. Another essential habit is the habit of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals and take action even when you don't feel motivated. Motivation is powerful, but it's fleeting. It's easy to feel excited and inspired in the beginning, but as time goes on, that initial excitement can fade. This is when self-discipline becomes crucial. It's about doing what needs to be done even when it's hard or inconvenient. Self-discipline allows you to stay on track and keep moving forward even when obstacles arise. It's the difference between people who dream big and people who make those dreams a reality. Building the habit of self-discipline requires creating routines and sticking to them even on days when you don't feel like it. If you want to write a book, you don't wait until you're inspired to write a chapter. Instead, you sit down every day at the same time and commit to writing a certain number of words. The habit of showing up day after day, even when it's hard, is what will move you closer to your goals. And remember, every time you choose self-discipline over procrastination, you're strengthening your ability to succeed in the long run. Additionally, one of the most overlooked habits is the habit of reflection. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and never take the time to step back and evaluate where you are. But reflection is essential for growth. When you take the time to reflect on your actions, your progress, and your mindset, you gain clarity on what's working and what's not. This allows you to make adjustments and stay on track toward your goals. Reflection helps you learn from both your successes and failures, so you can continue improving and making better decisions moving forward. The habit of gratitude is also a powerful one. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, from what's going wrong to what's going right. When you cultivate the habit of gratitude, you train your mind to see the positive in every situation. This not only boosts your mental and emotional well-being, but also fuels your motivation. When you are grateful for what you already have, you are more likely to stay motivated and focused on your goals. Gratitude has the power to transform your mindset, making you more resilient, positive, and driven. Another important habit for success is the habit of continuous learning. The most successful people are not static. They are constantly learning, growing, and evolving. They understand that knowledge is power, and they actively seek out opportunities to improve themselves, whether it's reading books, taking courses, attending workshops, or seeking mentorship. The habit of learning keeps you sharp and prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. It ensures that you are always evolving, gaining new insights, and improving your skills, which ultimately leads to greater success. A final but crucial habit is the habit of self-care. In the pursuit of success, it's easy to neglect your health and well-being, but success is not sustainable without a healthy body and mind. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally is essential for long-term success. This means getting enough rest, eating well, exercising regularly, and making time for activities that nourish your soul. When you take care of yourself, you have more energy, focus, and clarity to give to your goals. Self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity for sustained success. The habits you form today will shape the life you live tomorrow. Successful people understand that habits are the building blocks of achievement. By being intentional about the habits you develop and committing to them consistently, you set yourself up for long-term success. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of everyday habits, small actions, and a mindset that is focused on growth. So take control of your habits today and let them lead you to the success you desire. You don't need to make massive changes overnight. Just start small, stay consistent, and watch as your life transforms over time. Rewiring your mind for success requires a significant shift in the way you think and approach challenges. One of the most profound and powerful steps in this transformation is the ability to visualize your success. Visualization is not just a mental exercise or a passing thought. It is an intentional, conscious practice that plays a pivotal role in shaping the reality you desire. The power of visualization is immense because it taps into your subconscious mind, which influences your actions, decisions, and ultimately the outcomes of your life. When you visualize success, you are laying down the mental blueprint for achieving your goals. You are painting a vivid, detailed picture of what you want to accomplish, and by doing so, you begin to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that vision. Visualization works because it helps reprogram your mind. Just like how athletes use visualization to prepare for a game or competition, you can use it to prepare yourself for success in any area of your life. It allows you to see yourself overcoming obstacles, achieving your goals, and living the life you envision. The more you visualize, the more your subconscious mind begins to believe that success is inevitable, which leads to increased confidence, motivation, and determination. You begin to see opportunities rather than challenges. And this shift in perspective makes it easier to take the necessary actions to achieve your dreams. The first step in harnessing the power of visualization is to create a clear and detailed vision of what success looks like to you. This vision must be specific and compelling. You can't visualize something vague like, I want to be successful. Instead, you need to picture the exact outcome you want, whether it's a career achievement, a personal goal, or a lifestyle change. Be as specific as possible. Visualize the emotions you will experience when you reach your goal, the environment around you, and the people who will be impacted by your success. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. Imagine yourself walking into your dream job, speaking in front of a crowd, or achieving the physical health and fitness you've always wanted. Paint a clear mental picture of success in your mind and take time to immerse yourself in that vision every day. Once you have a clear vision, it's important to visualize with emotion. Success is not just about seeing a picture in your mind, it's about feeling it in your heart. When you visualize, make sure to connect with the emotions you would experience if your goals were already achieved. How would it feel to have the life you've always dreamed of? What emotions would you experience if you were living the success you desire? Visualization becomes far more powerful when it is tied to emotion because your emotional energy fuels the belief in your vision. If you can feel the joy, pride, excitement, or peace that comes with your success, you create a stronger connection to that success and begin to manifest it in your reality. Another key element in visualization is consistency. Like any other mental exercise or skill, the more you practice, the more effective it becomes. Visualization is not a one-time activity. It is a daily habit. Set aside time each day, preferably in the morning or before bed, to close your eyes, focus your mind, and visualize your success. The more consistently you practice, the more ingrained this mental picture will become in your subconscious mind. Over time, it will feel as though your goals are already a part of your reality and your actions will align with that belief. It's this constant reinforcement that makes visualization so powerful. It begins to infiltrate your thoughts and behaviors in a way that influences the decisions you make and the actions you take. As you visualize, it's important to include the process of success, not just the end result. Visualization is not just about seeing the finished product, but also about picturing the steps you will take to get there. Success is rarely instantaneous. It's a journey of overcoming obstacles, learning, and growing along the way. Visualizing the challenges and how you will handle them mentally and emotionally is just as important as visualizing the final victory. This mental rehearsal prepares you for setbacks, allowing you to see yourself handling challenges with grace and determination. By including both the process and the end result in your visualization, you mentally prepare for the full experience of achieving your goals, which makes you more resilient when obstacles inevitably arise. Another powerful aspect of visualization is the way it creates clarity and direction. When you visualize your success, you are not only focusing on the end goal, but also giving your mind a clear path to follow. This mental clarity helps you make better decisions and take more effective actions. Visualization allows you to mentally rehearse various scenarios and think through possible outcomes. The clearer your mental picture, the clearer your path to success becomes. You begin to see exactly what needs to be done, and what actions are required to get from where you are to where you want to be, your mind starts working like a GPS, always directing you toward the next step on your journey. Visualization is also an essential tool for overcoming fear and self-doubt. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, feelings of inadequacy, and fears about their ability to succeed. These limiting beliefs can paralyze them, preventing them from taking the necessary steps to reach their goals. Visualization helps counteract these fears by creating a positive, empowering mental environment. When you visualize yourself succeeding, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle challenges and rise above adversity. This shift in mindset helps build your confidence and diminish the negative thoughts that often hold you back. The more you visualize success, the more you will believe that it is possible for you. Another reason visualization is so powerful is because it taps into the law of attraction. The law of attraction states that like attracts like, that what you focus on expands. When you consistently visualize success, you are attracting positive energy and opportunities into your life. You are training your mind to focus on the positive and to recognize opportunities that align with your goals. This focused attention brings about a shift in how you view the world around you. You become more attuned to the people, places, and circumstances that can help you achieve your vision. Visualization makes you a magnet for success, pulling in the right experiences, connections, and resources that support your journey. While visualization is a powerful tool for manifesting your desires, it's important to remember that visualization alone will not bring success. It is the combination of a clear vision, strong belief, and consistent action that leads to real results. Visualization primes your mind, but it's up to you to take the necessary steps to turn your vision into reality. It gives you the mental clarity and motivation to act, but it's your actions that will move you toward your goals. Visualization is not a substitute for hard work. It is a tool that aligns your mind and energy with the actions you take. To maximize the power of visualization, it's essential to stay focused on the vision, even in the face of adversity. There will be times when challenges arise, when doubts creep in, and when it feels as though your dreams are far out of reach. But if you maintain the discipline to visualize your success regularly, even during tough times, you reinforce your belief in yourself and your goals. Visualization becomes a form of mental resilience. It helps you stay grounded in your vision, reminding you that success is not a matter of luck or chance, but a result of your focused mindset, determination, and hard work. Incorporating visualization into your daily routine is one of the most powerful tools you can use to rewire your mind for success. It creates clarity, strengthens belief, and aligns your actions with your goals. By visualizing your success every day, you plant the seeds for the future you desire and begin to manifest the life you've always dreamed of. The more vividly and consistently you visualize, the more your dreams will come to life. When you believe it in your mind, you begin to see it in your world. Rewiring your mind for success demands not only mental transformation, but also a profound shift in the way you approach challenges and setbacks. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformation is the ability to take bold action in the face of fear and uncertainty. The truth is that every great success story begins with a moment of discomfort, a moment where doubt creeps in and fear tries to stop you in your tracks. But what separates those who achieve greatness from those who falter is the ability to press forward despite the fear, to take action even when the outcome is uncertain. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, to stepping outside your comfort zone, to going after something bigger than what you've ever attempted before. But it's also one of the greatest obstacles to success. Fear can be paralyzing. It can cause you to doubt yourself, procrastinate, or even abandon your dreams altogether. But successful individuals know that fear is not something to avoid. It's something to confront, to push through, and to learn from. They understand that fear is a signal that you are on the edge of something great, that you are about to step into a new level of growth. So instead of letting fear control them, they use it as fuel to take bold, decisive action. One of the most critical aspects of success is overcoming the internal barriers that keep us from taking action. These barriers are often rooted in our beliefs, our past experiences, and our doubts about our own abilities. It's easy to talk yourself out of taking action by focusing on everything that could go wrong. The what-ifs can be overwhelming. What if I fail? What if I make a mistake? What if people laugh at me? But these fears, these thoughts of failure, are not truth. They are simply stories we tell ourselves. In fact, most of the things we fear are never as bad as we imagine. The fear of failure often holds us back more than failure itself ever could. The truth is that success is not defined by the absence of failure, but by the willingness to keep moving forward despite failure. Every successful person has experienced setbacks, mistakes, and failures. The key is that they did not allow those experiences to define them. They didn't let fear dictate their actions. They kept moving forward. So how do you overcome this paralyzing fear and take bold action in the face of uncertainty? First, it's important to recognize that action is the antidote to fear. When you are feeling anxious or scared, the best thing you can do is take action. Action doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be taken. Sometimes the first step is the hardest, but once you begin, momentum builds. Even small incremental actions can have a profound impact on overcoming fear and making progress toward your goals. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment rarely comes. Instead, make the choice to act now, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty. It's through action that you prove to yourself that you are capable, and it's through action that you begin to see the results of your efforts. Another important aspect of taking bold action is understanding that failure is not something to be feared, but something to embrace. Failure is often seen as the ultimate setback, something to avoid at all costs. But the most successful people in the world view failure as a necessary step in the process of growth. They know that failure is not an endpoint, it's simply feedback. When you fail, you are given the opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to improve. In fact, many of the greatest achievements in history have been preceded by multiple failures. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said that he didn't fail 1,000 times in his quest to invent the light bulb. He simply found 1,000 ways that didn't work. It was through this process of trial and error, of failure and adjustment, that he ultimately succeeded. Embracing failure allows you to take action without the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. When you view failure as a learning opportunity, you free yourself from the pressure of perfection. You can take risks, make decisions, and move forward without worrying about what might go wrong. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? The greatest achievements often come when we are willing to take bold risks and push through our fears. The act of taking bold action also requires a mindset shift, a change in how you see yourself and your potential. Often, fear holds us back because we doubt our own abilities. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we're not capable, or that we don't deserve success. But these beliefs are simply limiting thoughts that hold us in place. To take bold action, you must believe in your own potential. You must recognize that you have what it takes to overcome obstacles, to learn from mistakes, and to ultimately achieve success. The most successful people don't have more resources or more talent. They simply believe in their ability to succeed and are willing to take action regardless of the obstacles they may face. Building this belief in yourself is a critical step toward taking bold action. One of the best ways to do this is through positive affirmations. Affirmations are powerful statements that reprogram your mind and replace self-doubt with self-belief. When you tell yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy of success, and that you have the skills and resources to achieve your goals, you begin to change the narrative you've been telling yourself. You begin to shift your focus from what you lack to what you possess. Affirmations help reinforce the belief that success is not just possible but inevitable as long as you are willing to act on it. Another way to strengthen your belief in yourself is to surround yourself with positive influences. People who believe in you, who encourage you, and who challenge you to take bold action. The people you spend the most time with have a significant impact on your mindset and attitude. If you are constantly surrounded by people who doubt your abilities or who are stuck in their own fear, it can be difficult to take bold action. But when you are around individuals who are supportive, motivating, and who encourage you to reach higher, you are more likely to push past your fears and take the necessary steps toward success. Seek out mentors, coaches, and friends who inspire you and who will hold you accountable for taking action. Taking bold action also means being willing to face discomfort and uncertainty. Success requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that means embracing discomfort. Discomfort is a sign that you are growing, that you are expanding beyond what you have known before. It's easy to want to stay in familiar, comfortable situations, but nothing extraordinary ever happens in the comfort zone. You must be willing to feel the discomfort and move through it. When you take bold action despite fear and uncertainty, you train yourself to become resilient, to embrace the unknown, and to continue moving forward even when the path ahead isn't clear. The final piece of this puzzle is understanding that bold action doesn't require perfection. Too often we hesitate to take action because we feel we need to have everything figured out before we can start. But the truth is that no one ever has it all figured out. Success is about learning as you go, making adjustments along the way, and staying committed to your vision. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect before you take the first step. Start now, act now, learn as you go. The key is to keep moving forward, even if the path is uncertain, and trust that as you take bold action, the pieces of the puzzle will begin to fall into place. Taking bold action in the face of fear and uncertainty is one of the most powerful ways to rewire your mind for success. Fear may never fully go away, but you can learn to take action despite it. Success is not about eliminating fear. It's about moving forward in spite of it. When you take bold action, you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you can handle challenges, and that you are worthy of the success you desire. Keep moving forward, stay committed to your vision, and trust that every step you take brings you closer to the life you want to create.